easy. It's just that you can play him in green ranks with Demon Uppercut, down back 2, and 1-1-2. You can do that. What's up guys, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and someone requested do a Mishima ranking, and I felt immediately and instinctively that we could do that. It's an interesting video. I did a video a couple of months ago where I talked about that I had re-fought and re-evaluated the Mishimas. I used to say Heihachi was not very good, but the reality he is very strong, so I thought we could just rank them. So the Mishimas would be Kazuya, Devil Jin, Heihachi, and then Jin Kazama. If you want to be a purist with Mishimas, you would say these are the Mishimas. They have a classic electric, classic hell sweep, etc, etc, etc. But as soon as he got an electric that launches on normal hit, I feel like he came into the category. And he also has a knockdown hell sweep into a lot of damage. He has a demon paw, just like this guy. So I think he is a Mishima these days. So I'm going to do a quick ranking, and then I'm going to explain why I think a certain way. I'm going to have Jin as number 1. Number 2, I'm going to put Heihachi. And now 3 and 4 is a little bit tricky. Because what we have here, I'm going to explain in detail these characters, but just really quickly here. This guy is more all-round. Can do most things. This guy is very, very problematic in terms of flexibility. He has pretty much 1 game plan or 2 game plans. That's it. This guy can do a heck of a lot more and can play quite safe. This guy, there's no safe play, but his sheer damage output is that much higher than Devil Jin's most of the time. But the thing is, he excels in keeping it safe compared to Kazuya. It's so tricky. I think I am going to do this though. And yeah, I guess I'm downplaying my main. Okay, so why is Jin number 1? There is literally nothing Jin can't do. He has a collection of attacks we can call perfect. Forward 4 is one of the best moves in the game. Back to 1 is one of the best round closers in the game. Electric is one of the best do everything multi-purpose attack moves in the game. Demon Po is insane. His parry is overpowered. He has a throw game. 1-2, 1+2. That give Oki. He has a very strong 50-50 with a forward 3 safe mid launcher that is neutral on block. He has a hell sweep for 50 damage. He has down back 4 for +3 frames. He has incredible lows. He has incredible mids. He has an incredible counter hit game with his standing 4 launcher. Down for 2, safe 15 frame counter hit launcher. Up for 2 is a safe evasive mid. It's a panic button that's safe on block. He has a 10 frame standing punish that wall splats, knockdown. Can for easy 15 frame punish with tons of reach. It doesn't really end. He has Zen cancels for safe, strong mix-up utility. He has a lot of strong strings in general. 2-1-4 is one of the best strings in the game, in my opinion. The thing is, it never really ends with this character, and what we do, and he has insane wall travel and insane combo damage. So what we do instead is we try and talk about weaknesses, and it's like some range problems in the 12 frame area, 1+2. Jab could have more reach. It certainly has in Tekken 8. Downward 1 could have more reach. They patched those issues in Tekken 8. They hit twice as far now, his jab and downward 1. But that's where we can say like, oh, there's something here that's slightly problematic. But in general, he's kind of perfect. And he's only held back by his pilot, so that's the player. He's very, very hard to master. There's execution that goes into it, but mostly it's your knowledge of your own character. Like, where do I utilize all of these moves? Where do I place them to be as successful as possible? And all of these attacks have general utility, but it's also a case of like, they certainly have their golden scenarios where they're so much better and the best option to use. And it's just very complicated putting all of his tools together and make it a very effective package. Most Jin players can't do it. It's like, you need to understand 50-50 gameplay. Right. You need to understand counter it gameplay. You need to understand knowledge check mix-up heavy with Zen and strings. You need to understand in general, how do I pressure someone? You need excellent punishment to make the most use out of his stuff. And, you know, getting good with his parry. It's like, there's such a difference between your average Jin and an expert Jin. It's night and day. But that goes for all of these characters. But Jin is, without doubt, one of the hardest characters to master. If I was talking about difficulty, I would say these two are at the top, and then followed by Devil Jin and Heihachi being the easiest Mishima to play. Doesn't make him easy. It's just that you can play him in green ranks with Demon Uppercut, down back 2, and 1-1-2. You can do that. He won't become Katarina, he won't become that brain dead. But I think he is the most abusable and easy when contrasted to the other Mishimas. So that's Jin. Heihachi, again, he's a much more problematic character than Jin in terms of weaknesses, because he has clear weaknesses. But again, here they've been patching these holes. These holes. The punishment used to be much more difficult to work with, but he doesn't rely anymore on crouch cancel electrics. Now he has while standing free 1+2 for blocking hell sweeps, or sweeps in general. His lows used to be the worst in the game. Hell sweep now is legit a pretty good low. It's an unseeable low counter hit launcher that is basically homing, and it's +8 on normal hit. And it has a built-in mix-up, should they not block it. It's like, that's a pretty good low. That's not a bad low. And sets up the best mid in the game, forward 3. Yeah, it's like, forward 4 is pretty perfect, but I still think Heihachi's forward 3 eclipses it. So he has the best mid in the game. He has, well, some of the best mids in the game. Like, his mid utility with Demon Uppercut, forward 3, back 4, down forward 1, forward 4, Hunting Hawk. Like, these mids are just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So basically, he can play around counter hit and pretty safe Tekken. Just pressure you into making a mistake and getting counter hit. So he doesn't even need lows, to be honest. But he has that hell sweep to try and fuck you up. But the most defining move this dude has, it's his 1-1-2. That's where it really... That's what really defines him. Like, that move is just so unbelievably dumb that he must be the top 2 Mishima. So a 10 frame hit confirmable wall splat with too much reach. His jab reaches too far. And when you do a 1-1 on block, it's only -2. So it's like, even at the highest level, they have you at the wall and they just throw 1-1. 1-1. And as soon as that shit hits, they add the final hit. And he has huge damage. You die. 1-1-2 is character defining here. With all the other stuff. Launching punch parry is pretty damn sweet as well. And his damage output, electric being dumb, all the mids, hell sweep viable low, and his rage drive. Best rage drive in the game. Like, on paper, overpowered, broken. 10 frame counter hit launcher that does as much damage or more than Kazuya's perfect electric combo with no execution, and it's +9 on block. In what world did we think this was okay with his buffed jab reach? It's completely broken. It's literally broken on paper. And then top 3, we have Devil Jin. Used to be number 1, I think, but the damage nerfs were too great. Like, not having a power mid, like, his hell sweep is pretty busted, it's so strong, but he doesn't have a damaging wall combo. if you end a juggle with forward 3-4, you'll run into 1-2 back 4. That's 14 damage. 14 damage into Oki. If you land a while stunning 2, you get no damage. That's the problem. He does a lot of damage from an electric, but the wall combo is going to hold him back. A hell sweep, wow, it launches. Wall combo holds him back. He lacks that power mid also with upward 4 getting nerfed. So, super strong character. Like, if you remove a damage aspect component, he's very strong and he does everything well. It's just that the damage output is so low that he ends up here. So this guy has more of a damage output, but he has a very flawed game plan. Very flawed game plan. But he has the damage output. So it's, you know, it's take your pick here. I would say he's better if you want to play in a tournament, as you can play low commitment so much more and rely on counter hits. And much safer, try and go for space control with laser cannon, like lock them down, don't step me. So I think he is in the end a little bit more viable. If you want to play high risk and get more damage, he's your guy. But it's just so flawed in terms of can't poke, counter hit utility, not very strong. So incredibly easy to counter by just stepping to the left. That's one thing we can say about this guy's 50-50 is that it's true, the mid option doesn't hit very hard, but don't underestimate the fact that the low tracks to one side and the mid tracks to the other side. So in terms of stepping, it's also a 50-50. That's very, very good to have at high level Tekken. Very good. Don't underestimate that. So his counter plays like too easy, is too unsafe. There are too few versions of Kazuya. He can only play certain styles. Much more flexible. High commitment all the time. Very high commitment, very unsafe. 20 frame startup. But does it hurt when he does hit you? Yes, it does. So I think that's a good explanation. And again, if you're ranking them for difficulty, it would look something like this. Pretty much the same difficulty in my opinion. And then like this. This would be in terms of difficulty, these characters. So I hope you enjoyed my little talk here about Mishimas, and I hope you have a nice day. Take care. Take care.